Okay, I think I'm live. Take two. Okay, I think I'm live. G'day everyone. It's now just gone 10:35 a.m. Sunday morning here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And I've decided to just use the Logitech webcam that you've probably seen. It's like version 3 of the webcams I've had. And just do it from my office here. Pretty spontaneous idea about having the live stream. Let me just reposition myself. I was going to do it at midday, which coincides for people in the US a bit better, but looking at the little analytics in YouTube Studio, seems most of my audience is online between 10 and 12, so figured 10:30 a.m. will be okay. So I'll just give it a minute before. Okay, I think someone's watching. So g'day. Not sure who you are, but feel free to type the messages down in the little box there. So doing it from my office, I won't get into the main topic until we've got a couple of people watching. Most people will probably watch this as a replay, which probably be ready tomorrow or tonight. So yeah, here I am. Just a little update. It's a little bit of rain outside, just light. I wonder if I should shut the door. We'll see if I can hear Bobo. I've left the office door open there. So if Bobo, the rainbow lorikeet, gets too loud or annoying, let me know and I'll shut the door. Have the office windows here, which I've shown you before. They're louvers, but they're actually like a brownish tinted thing. So I've got a light here this time. There's a little, if there's any color cast, like you can probably see, I can see, and I also see, probably should have had this shirt ironed. All right, g'day, Graham. Hang out, mate. Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. Right. Okay. Anyway, so if there's any color cast, it's not the fault of the camera, it's the louvers here, which, you've seen them, Graham. I don't know if you took much notice, you walk past them every time. But yeah, as you can see on my face, if you can see there's any bands, it's just because of that. Maybe I could turn the light a little bit more, or I'll do that a few minutes later than I expected, just setting up here. Hey, g'day, white boys. How you going, mate? Good to chat to you this morning again on email too. Okay, they have mobile hairdressers, do they? Yeah. All right, well, I think I need more than just my hair done. Okay, well, I'll get going. As I was just saying, most people will watch this on a replay. And eventually YouTube processes things so that you can read back what's being said live currently. So the topic of this, I thought I'd just have a Q&A, questions and answers, for anyone that might have questions that I can give answers to on specifically my last two videos. The latest one, of course, being my trip out to my mate Phil's place out in Tara in Queensland, which so far, aside from collab videos I've done with Craig and Gary, is probably my favorite one because, I enjoyed it. And I wanted to say too, and also the other video previous to that, which is also another long one, was a collection of suggestions I have where you can travel when everything opens up around the world this year, which we anticipate will. Well, actually the girl that I worked with earlier last year, she was a very good hair and makeup artist. So yeah, Irina. I couldn't get her here in time because of the speed of which that I decided to do this. Okay, so I have a cup of coffee here. A little bit of light rain about, which I wasn't expecting. Anyway, so I'll get going on that. So I wanted to just cover a couple of points as well as answer any questions. Should probably sit a bit closer. I was going to set this camera up in one of the lounge rooms on the other computer, but last time I tried that, it was a bit of messing around and I ran out of time too. So fire any questions you have at me. Well, Graham, you were here the other day, so we've chatted about it. And one thing I was going to say too, that a lot of people, most people would realize, but not everyone does. When I make a vlog, which I believe stands for video log, as in like the old blog, I don't know what blog stands for, biolog, anyway, whatever it is. It's a little bit different. They tend to be a bit different to the videos I typically make, where everything is precise and all that. It's the way I choose to do it. It's a very rough around the edges in parts sort of thing. But to me, and also other people I watch that do vlogs, they I'll get to questions in a sec. Before to me and other people that I watch that do vlogs, it's kind of more like you're there if it's not too professionally done, as in like if you do a film or a documentary. It's not that at all. And there are other couple of things too. It's when you're using a combination of different cameras, such as I did when I took out the fields, I used the phone, I used my DSLR, and of course the drone. So it's hard to get everything precise with frame rates. They don't all match. Not everything's that compatible. So just to explain, a little bit rough around the edges, and because it was not a setup film or production, that's why you'll see, for example, one thing comes to mind when we're doing that crazy drive through the bush. And apparently Phil said we were doing 100 kilometers an hour at one point there. You could see, I hope, and if you haven't seen it for some reason, go back and watch the video, because I've got some good comments so far. Most people seem to be watching the whole thing, which surprised me, but it's one of my favorites. And the first 10 minutes I included because it's driving from Brisbane to Toowoomba, which may interest some people. It was my first time on the Toowoomba bypass road, which is pretty new, which goes right around Toowoomba. I came back the same way, and it was that's the little fill-in part. If you're familiar with the trip and haven't seen the video, you can skip to that, like 10 minutes in, from say Dalby. From that point on, I drive and meet Phil up, and the rest of it is all at his place. I had a lot of fun. It was quite relaxing. If you've seen the video, again, I cannot emphasize enough how stressed out I was when I thought I'd lost the footage, for a multitude of reasons. One is it's never quite the same if you have to like recreate things that happen spontaneously. Two is I didn't particularly want to go through that crazy drive through the bush at that speed again on dusk when kangaroos tend to hop out. It would have just taken the whole day to reshoot. It wouldn't be the same. So thank goodness we were able to recover that. So just to point out, so you might be able to notice, like I'm sitting in the middle of the car here, like holding the camera through the windscreen, which is why it kept hunting for focus. I tried manual focus as well, and it's like, I couldn't quite get it. So it does lose focus. If there was a proper video, as in a production, obviously you wouldn't leave any blurred out bits in. But I left the entire thing as it was. I think it just gives you a greater ambience of how it all unfolded. And we had fun. I hope you had fun too. And there was a couple of bits that were quite funny. That's just the way we've always been. Phil and I have known each other, as I said on the video, I worked at 30 years, easy. So we both started we met when we were doing security. So that was a long, long time ago. And anyway, so I'm, hey, white boys, I'm using my, this one. Here's the box over here. That's the new, the Logitech that I did a video on. You probably don't know, Graham. It was the third one that I bought last year for various reasons. But anyway, this one seems to be the best. This is 1080. You should have a reasonably good picture. Yeah, so I wanted to point that out. So when we're driving through the bush, if there was a production and it was all pre-staged, then, and if I happen to have a massive floodlight, you would have seen us doing the 360s. But it's not like that. It is what it is, and that's what you get. And of course, they were using different cameras, like the phone, for example. You can't really change the color balance. I don't tend to adjust color balances in a vlog like that, out and about thing. Occasionally, there might be a bit. I'll brighten the segment a little bit. Yeah. So essentially, that's why. Okay. And yeah, uh, the drone footage, as you saw, I was going to do something, a tracking shot. I ended up using like an overhead shot of Phil taking the kid around the house at slow speed, I might add. Angie was worried people might think, well, she should have had a helmet on. You saw how slow they were going. And she was not in the car when Phil and I came back from fishing at night, so don't worry about that. So yeah, just filling you in. That's why it's a bit rough around the edges, but I like it. Phil liked it. Angie liked it. Angie does talk your head off normally when you know her, but unfortunately, she seems to be rather camera shy, as you probably picked up. But anyway, it was all good fun. And also on the second last day, I felt a bit queasy, and I think it was probably the curry that we had, or maybe I wasn't quite used to drinking filtered tank water. Yeah. Hey, Johnny. Hey, mate. Sorry to change the times I emailed you about it, but I thought, well, yeah, most people are online about now watching my channel. What day is it? It's Sunday. You woke up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, that's why I'm saying it was rough, Graham, because it was meant to be rough. It was meant to be the way you saw it. It's not a production, wasn't a documentary, so there's no voiceover about anything. I had the sticky taped phone to the windscreen, which next time I might try your suggestion of blue tack actually. But yeah, the only rough part about that bit was when I flicked the camera from looking at me to out the windscreen, it cut off the audio for a split second as it flipped. Yeah, but the footage was pretty good. I think it'd give you an idea of the drive. Rough but tough. That's it. Just like me. Yeah. So you're right. Any questions about that or the video beforehand, which was a collection of usually really old now footage of some places I've been around the world. I didn't used to ever take a camera with me, and when I finally did, it was just this. Well, I could go and get it. I've still got it, or them. I had a few versions. Just really crap quality. So yeah, I mean, I upscaled it to 1080 or 4K, whatever. But yeah, it's the way it is. Hey, Alan, how are you, mate? How's the rain over there in New Zealand? I'm sure I have been to that river. You'll have to tell me the name again. I can't remember. But yeah, and I've seen other rivers like that in New Zealand. Boy, you wouldn't want to launch your little boat in that, mate. You would definitely be a goner. You can see how strong the current is. Horrendous. Cruise ship capers. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat, but I was kind of looking at the camera as well. And yes, Johnny, it's Sunday here in Australia, down under, which probably means I should go upside down. Are we really down under, or are you guys? It all depends on your perspective, doesn't it, Graham? Huh? Because Graham and I are down under, but we're the right way up. Alan's also the right way up. I think you guys in America and maybe Croatia might be upside down, but it's all political, isn't it? So if they put the globe upside down, that might be more accurate. We're up the top, you guys are down in the bottom, and they've just called it Southern Hemisphere and all that. And of course, if you get a big hammer and flatten the globe, then you have flat Earth. G'day, Jackson. How are you, mate? Yes, won't go into the flat Earth theory. I've said this before. I never totally discount anything in life more than 99.99%. But I'm sorry, flat Earth, I have to call it complete, insert your own word there, complete rubbish. As as you'd say, Graham, bollocks. Anyway, whatever people choose to believe, like you say, Graham, about the invisible man. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I wasn't feeling too well. I was a bit queasy the day before. So on the final day, we really did nothing, and that suited me fine. And I didn't think I'd picked up COVID. I mean, we didn't go anywhere other than Tara, which I just kind of stepped inside, did that pan, show you what it's like in the shops. It was Australia Day, everything was closed. So yeah, I didn't think it was COVID, but the first night, as you saw, like I was kind of out in the rain a bit, and yeah, so I had a bit of the sniffles. And in fact, the night before I left, in the middle of the night, got up for a smoke and got a bit wet. And I was a bit sniffly. I thought, oh, this is going to be great driving home like this tomorrow. But woke up in the morning, I felt fine, so that was all good. All right, reading some comments. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Oh, by the way, g'day to Craig. Craig is, he told me he won't be able to join the live stream because he's going out. In fact, so is Gary. So g'day to you, Gary. Both of you, I assume, will watch the replay of this when it's up. Maybe probably 12 hours from now, however long YouTube takes. So I'm having a coffee. What's everyone else up to today? Imagine you're sitting on the deck there, Graham, looking at the view of Brisbane CBD. Got a couple of people in the distance doing weed eating and mowing. We've already had that around here this morning. This is the real Steve Mack. Oh, g'day, Steve. Fancy meeting you at last. Yeah. There's another Steve Mack in the world. In fact, I think there's a few. Yeah, this is the real Steve Mack. All right, well, I'm the 1964 version. So I don't know, same brand, different serial number, maybe different production country. Yeah. Anyway, it's good to meet another Steve Mack. I've always found. Tell me if I'm wrong, people, but in my experience and my memory, I don't think I used to always say this, I think it still stands. I don't think I've ever met a bad Steve. I did have a client when I worked for the government that, with mental disabilities, that his name was Steve. Oh, in fact, there's two now I think of it. The second Steve, well, he used to eat his own arms, which is why he had plasters permanently on his hands. Yeah, poor fellas. I mean, they can't help it, they were born that way. But yeah, but he wasn't bad. He was extremely violent at times. But yeah, I don't think I've met a bad Steve. Then again, I suppose if you look through history, there must have been some. Message retracted. Oh, I've missed your message, Alan. What a coincidence, yeah. Our host is unreal. Oh, thank you, Johnny. You're pretty unreal. We really must have a phone chat one day. Yeah, we really must do that. It's not impossible at all. It's much better to talk in person, or second best, obviously, is on the phone. Typing is always a pain. No bad Steves in the world. Oh, cheers. Except me. Rotten to the core, I am. You're the bad. That's right. I beat you to it, Alan. Yes, I'm the bad Steve. But anyway, 1 out of a trillion is not too bad, I guess. Okay, well, anyone have any questions about any of the places that I've shown you that I've been? As I said, I've been to a lot of places that didn't have pictures or video of some of them. But that was quite a long video. Yeah, but my last trip out to Phil's was really nice. The drive wasn't far at all. I obviously didn't, I ended it with a driving away shot. But there was no point showing you the trip home. It was basically the reverse of the way up. And what I did, I left. It is actually better to leave early. I woke up just before 7 o'clock, had a coffee, had a shower, blah, 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 packed the car. And Phil and Angie had an appointment in Tara. So I thought, well, I may as well go when you do. I mean, I could have stayed on and just locked up after myself, but hit the road, went straight to Dalby, had to stop for about 5 or so minutes because there was a road crew setting up traffic lights close to Dalby that they were supposed to set up at 6 a.m. apparently, but it didn't. So I arrived at Dalby. By that time, I'd only had 1 cup of coffee. So by that time, I was thinking, could do with a toilet break. I arrived in Dalby, pulled over to the side of the road, looked up the best fuel prices in the area, and I found it was like a couple of kilometres out of the main township per se, the main street. Sort of went there. Massive garage. I think, was it United or something? But I had breakfast there, big coffee, fueled up, topped up again. It was like they must have had at least 50 fuel pumps. It was a truck stop as well, but it's bigger than anything I've seen in Brisbane. So yeah, that was really nice. So then I jumped back into the car. Yes, I went to the hairdresser's last, Graham, 6 weeks ago. Yeah, I had 6 inches cut off. You can't tell. Yeah, but I did my once-a-year trip. Might actually go see her again sooner this time. So yeah, hit the road. Kept going. I thought, well, since I'm bypassing Toowoomba, not going over through the township, I thought, well, I'll just go as far as I can go and see how my bladder holds out. Started to rain, actually. Scuds of rain all the way from probably Dalby, well past Toowoomba. And I kept on going. I thought, well, I'm doing okay. I'm watching the kilometres count down on the GPS towards home. And I thought, well, I'll stop at Laidley, which is my old haunt. I used to go there every month for people who've seen the gigs I used to see my friends play out there. So, yeah, you two just chat amongst yourselves. I'm watching the comments. Don't you worry. Yeah, heavy rain and wind there, is it? It's not here. It's just it stopped again. It was a little bit of light rain. Graham's probably, what, 20 minutes on a good run from my place. But it's a marvellous, isn't it, how it changes. Well, even Gary at Pullenvale, literally 10 minutes drive. And it can be like pouring rain here, nothing there, and vice versa. So it's weird. It's like a corridor. So back to the trip back, I thought, well, I'll stop at Laidley and have a quick, go to the toilet, which I did. I'm sure I nearly missed the little turn off to the petrol station at Laidley, because at that stage it was bucketing down rain. Wipers were on full. Visibility was really bad, but I found it. Pulled over, had to walk right around through this eating area to the toilets. Went to the toilet, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to have a coffee. I'm just going to hit the road and keep going. And it was the shortest, it felt like the shortest time ever from Laidley back here, because I'd just driven a couple of 100 kilometres. So that's very good, Graham. Yeah, it's amazing. TikTok's weird. Okay. Oh, thanks, Jackson. Yeah, you don't need to do that. Anytime anyone wants to do this, what do they call it? When you chat thing, you donate, whatever. I highly recommend. There's always a link in my videos. You can direct PayPal, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, so to speak. And that way you don't get all these fees, because Google takes 50% or close to 50%, which I kind of think is wrong. 10% would be fine. I mean, it's their platform. But anyway, they're all appreciated. Yeah, so I went straight from Laidley to home. So I was home by about 20 past midday, which was quite good. And go to the office. Well, yeah, I accept vanilla slices as payment, Graham. That's quite nice what you bring. Yeah, that's right. Well, technically, it's 99 cents is under $1, so the way they price things. The worst job in the show. Why is it shoe sales, Johnny? Why would that be the worst job? It's a fact. Oh, Well, that's because we wear thongs. Well, Phil doesn't wear thongs. I wear thongs. This is a video I've been meaning to make for years, and I might do it sooner rather than later now. The differences in terminology between countries. I know where Alan is in. Yeah, okay. G'day, Skrillish Crow. I can't pronounce that. The difference between, say, where Alan is in New Zealand, my #1 favourite country, they call them jangles. And thongs, you've seen, I don't, like, I'm inside, I haven't got any. Some countries call them flip-flops. What else? No, they don't call them that, Graham. Definitely don't call them that. Yeah, that's right. Thongs in some countries and even in Australia means, those underpants that go right up your bum crack. Well, no, I don't wear them on my feet. That'd be weird. But anyway, it's funny how different terminology. So I'm going to do a video sooner rather than later about that. It's like we say spanner. Americans tend to say wrench. There's a whole lot of things. Yeah, I can think of quite a few. I'll throw them into a video one day for a bit of fun. Japanese riding boots. Okay. Thanks, Jackson. Yeah, if only. The best donation you can give me is watch my videos, folks, and leave a thumbs up and share anyone that you think is interesting. Helps the channel, because I'm still a teeny tiny channel after 15 years of it. It's not like I haven't tried. So, yeah, that's how that went. The trip was good. Didn't seem that far, really. And fuel economy, which I flashed up there, was, when I looked at the trip computer on the display on the highway, I think it was averaged 9.1 litres per 100 kilometres, which I worked out UK miles per gallon, which evidently is different to American miles per gallon, was about 31 point something. Well, I had the air conditioning on all the way. It's a 4-litre 6-cylinder. I mean, ironically, the Nissan Z, it once calculated to about 60 miles per gallon on the highway, which blew me away. That's incredibly good economy, given it's a V6. That's 3.5 litres. But then again, it's probably better technology in ways. I think it's 5 or 6 valves per cylinder and all that. Computers make a big difference. Smoker coming up after the video, Graham. Yes, I try not to smoke on camera anymore because some people don't like it. That'll do fine, Al. 20 cents. Put it towards the coffee we'll have when I finally get back to New Zealand. Okay, white boys. Yeah, I can relate to that. It's sometimes more than others. I'm just reading some comments there. G'day, Elvira. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. Yep. Okay. So that was my trip. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. I hope you'll enjoy it. We get up to all sorts of antics. More antics than you saw, but yeah, those are the antics that I filmed. The fresh yabbies were quite nice. Very similar to prawns, little or shrimp. If you're in America, we call them shrimp. Yep. All right. Well, I'll accept that as well, Graham. Another 7-Eleven coffee. It's not too bad. Hey, oh dear. Are you Fairmont gear? Yep. Same as me. Mine's the straight 6, Jackson. Oh, sorry. Mine's the BA. The AU, if you saw the video, which I hope you have, Phil's Bush Basher, the car, is an AU Falcon Ute, which probably they're going up in price now because since Ford stopped making them. Same as mine, they're going up in price. Yeah, the one thing I could hear, and you'll hear it in the video if you're mechanically minded, when we stop, to reverse away from trees, you'll hear the power steering. And I said to him, I think your power steering pump's in need of attention. He reckons he pours so much oil in it so often. So, yeah, but they're a pretty easy, cheap fix. I've replaced quite a few of them in my life. Yes, I know someone with an Audi R8. It'd be you, Graham. And I've even done a video on it. With me driving it. Nighttime death ride, yeah. Well, you wouldn't be doing that in an R8. And that's another reason I didn't take the Z, because, yeah, it wouldn't be an ideal dirt road car. Even worse would be if I would have taken one of the Corvettes I used to have. You would not do that. You would just destroy the car. And especially the white one, because it was a bottom feeder. The air intake was like virtually that far off the ground, so you'd be sucking all that dust. Never good for an engine. Yeah, I know someone that with a Ford Mustang and had quite a few of them. Also, no, it's the same person actually, Jackson, that still has, I believe, quite a few AU Falcons. There's an old mate of mine I used to work with in the government, and he's not on YouTube. He'll never see this, but he goes through these obsessions of just buying one particular model of car. He always has. So he had a really old '67 Mustang. Got a number of AU Falcons. They're good cars. I remember when they came out, I was still doing security, and I think one of the, I don't know who was, a sales rep or something, which I used to do for that company, as well as security. He came around and went brand new, the first model, and we went for a ride. And I thought, this is weird. The car looks like I got two bonnets facing, but now they don't look so weird at all. It's funny how you change. And I remember thinking as we went for the drive, how Spartan the dash was. It didn't seem to have much, but now I look at them and they're fine. Perspective, I guess. You don't have the option to post photos in here. No, that's one of the shortcomings, I think, Graham. I wish they did. I can create a poll. I'll go back. I've never done this. Poll. Is this live stream? Well, I didn't know you could do this. Any good? You'll see. See if that comes up. No, is this? Don't think it did. Opal series. Okay. Well, Opal made, I think, the Holden Barina. There you go. There's a poll. Let me vote for it. Can you guys see that poll? There's a couple of things I can't. Well, I could take the camera off and show you. I'll do that. Hang on. I'll try and hold this steady. Right. That's probably all backwards and out of focus. Right. Hold it steady. You see down the bottom here? This is what I see. The smiley faces. That's where you can donate. But don't do it. Like, if you're going to donate, use the link in the video below and use PayPal. That way it won't cost. You voted, Johnny. All right. And there's this one, the poll, which Johnny has already voted in. So I didn't know you had done. So there's the poll. And you can go up. Okay. Yeah, but unfortunately, that's something I think YouTube should have, but they don't. Same with the community tab where I post updates. They should have, I should be able to attach videos. You can attach photographs. There's a couple of things I think they could do to improve things, but they probably won't. I'm just catching up in comments. Johnny voted yes. We've got 83%, so I'll have to check this later. I mean, somebody's voted no. Thanks very much. I'll look at say he goes. Yeah, AU Falcons are pretty good. They've also gone up in price because once a company stops producing things, they seem to go up in value. They are very good. So is the BA. The BA, I have the Fairmont gear. Great cars, very comfortable. I've made a number of videos about it related to repairs I've done. It is not, let's say, the build quality isn't as good as the old EA Fairmont gear I had, which virtually in the I probably put close to 1 million kilometers on it since I had it. I used to drive it to work and back all the time. I could tell you literally whatever went wrong on that, and there was really nothing, not much. But this thing, I mean, look, it's comfortable. It's my favorite daily driver, but there's a number of things on it. The build quality just isn't as good. I believe they fixed that in the, is it FG, the last model Ford series they made? Anyway. Just catching up on some comments here. Oh, hello there. I won't even attempt to pronounce your name. I can't speak. Is it Ukrainian or Russian? Anyway, g'day from Australia. Hope things are okay where you are. I know things are heating up in that area. I don't think anything will come of it, but yeah, it must be a concern, I suppose. So I hope things pan out okay for you. I believe Johnny's asking you, Graham. Yeah. Well, yeah, you've got your bike. I've still got a bike too, Alan, but as I said, it's that long since I rode it. The seat would probably go up my bum. It's like, you know, like the seat's only that big. My bum is like bigger. So, I probably won't ride it. Plus, I think it has a flat tire. And when I rode bikes, you didn't have to have helmets. And to me, okay, I understand the reason for helmets. It's like motorbikes, but it's not, the freedom isn't the same as when I used to ride as a kid or a younger fella. Yep. I knew you'd answer that. Graham does have an exceptionally nice Audi R8. In fact, all your cars, Graham, since I've known you, you do, as I've said to you, you keep them in immaculate condition and always well serviced. So if you're ever buying a car from Graham, you know you're going to get a good one. And this is a particularly good one. Yeah, so there we go. Well, so you wouldn't have that problem, Alan, because you're not as big a fella as me. So, yeah. And I have to say this to you, Al. Yes, sometimes you've said, yeah, your videos, some of them aren't so good. I have to give you credit. At least you're making content. Okay, there's a lot of people that, you know, maybe put up a YouTube video a year. At least you get out, or even when you're not out, at least you make some content. And that's what counts towards YouTube, I think. And it's not a promoted video. Mount Franklin isn't sponsoring this video. However, if you're watching Mount Franklin, I'm quite open to you doing so. Oh, really? Okay. You don't have to wear helmets in Croatia. Well, that's good. We never had to here. Right, the world has definitely changed. Sorry, my verticals are slightly out here. Let's go wrong way. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That's okay-ish. And I have the hallway door open there too. And oh, yeah, my chair's also break. Please donate towards fixing my chair. I might fix it myself, or get some leather, the same color. I have a Disney poster up here too. Normally I have a few of my massive collection of qualifications in different areas, but yeah, I don't tend to show those. Got a Bachelor of something science with honours over there. Anyway, here we go. 38 minutes in, nearly 39. Here we come, 39. Boom, 39 minutes in. So, I guess the title, are you a car fan? If you're talking to me, people always assume I am or was because I've had a number of different cars. Not necessarily. When I had my Corvettes, I guess, and I ended up starting the Australian Corvettes Association after I left the club that I was in for political reasons. I just got sick of the politics. That wasn't why I joined. I guess I came to the point I saw that many Corvettes. I saw thousands of them. And yeah, you see something too often, except what you're thinking, Graham. then you tend to go, man, well, Corvette. Possibly you and I aren't the only ones thinking that. I know that a few people that will watch the replay will probably also think that. Yeah, I just hate to be a specialist doctor, if you know what I mean, to see the same thing every day. And I'm deliberately withholding on some jokes here that are crossing my mind. I'd say I'm still biased towards Ford over Holden Jackson, although the BA did put me off Fords because I've had more problems with it than I ever had with anything else. But I guess if I had to choose, look, let's be honest, in the last 20 or so years, pretty well every model is much the same as everything else when it comes to your normal everyday cars. So many companies have changed hands. It's hard to keep up with who owns what. BMW owns a lot of things now. They own Rolls-Royce. They own BMW. They own a lot of things. It's kind of sacrilege. Rolls-Royce, was a British company, and now it's owned by a German company. People would roll over in their graves about that, but it is what it is. And can anyone tell me? I'll hit you. I don't really have a favourite band. White Boys. The Beatles are good, but they're pretty old. I'm not dedicated to any one particular type of music. I only really listen to music in the car or cars. Spot question. Can anyone tell me who the biggest manufacturers of vehicles in the world is? I'll pause for a few seconds here. Play some chamber music. Elastic Band. Yeah, that'll do. Wasn't that Yoko Ono? Didn't she have an elastic band? So pausing. Yes, correct. India. Which company, Graham? It's one I only heard of in the last year or two, actually. But they are the biggest. No, not Toyota. Standing by for input. And most of you, nope, not Toyota. The biggest company in the world, car manufacturer, and I think vehicles like trucks. Ready? Starts with T. It's 4 letters. I'm about to tell you. No further guesses? It's a company called Tata. T-A-T-A. Go figure. That's right. I've never heard of them either until a year or two ago. Bigger than Volkswagen, the Volkswagen Group. Yep, huge. Volkswagen owns Audi now. It's hard to keep up with. GM and Ford, they've sold off so many bits of their company through the last GFC, which as we were chatting, ta-da, goodbye. Well, as we were saying the other day, Graham, likely to have another global financial crisis for the way what we were discussing with the housing and all that. Graham was a property developer, so I think he knows what he's talking about. The last global financial crisis cost me $160,000 because I had some decent money back then, heavily invested most of it into high risk things, and I was making a great turnover. It was like a couple of grand a week on interest. Along came the GFC, and I mentioned this on a video I did a while back about superannuation. My brain said to me, change everything to cash, right out the wave, so to speak. I had it in a high risk category. Rang up to do so, and I'll say this one last time, I will never forgive what happened. The girl on the phone, I told her what I wanted to do. She wasn't even a financial expert, so she had no right to give her opinion. She said, oh, it's just like riding a wave. I went, oh, all right, just leave it. Crash. And that never ever recovered, sadly. And I hate to be mean, but I hope she got sacked because she should not be giving any opinion or financial advice when she's basically the receptionist. Anyway, don't mention it before. Stop it. Basil Fawlty, right? You know what? Yeah, I told you the other day. We watched the last couple of nights. There was actually 3 on the buses movies, and probably equally as bad as each other. Last night we watched one of the Carry On things, which are on YouTube. I'll just get rid of some COVID. And it was even worse than on the buses. I know the Carry On gang made lots and lots of movies, but yeah, this Carry On Camping, that's one you want to avoid if you're going to watch those old things. It was pretty rubbish. Kuno de Euro. Oh, really? Okay. Wow. Whereas the UK are moving away from euro. They haven't gone back to pound sterling, have they, Graham? They're still detaching from the euro. So I don't really think they should have ever gone with it. Apparently the majority think the same. Well, we'll stick to the dollar. Didn't they had euro in the UK when Letty went over there the other year? That you could pay in euro or pound sterling. I don't know. Oh, g'day to my friend in South Africa. How are you, bro? Great to have coverage over there. Yeah, Johnny, in the US, the change from dollars to no dollars. We might follow suit. We usually do. The US dollar is always going to be the world reference until we change to Chinese yen. And that seems to be on the cards, the way the things are going. Okay. Well, that's all interesting, isn't it? Yeah, pretty well. Well, except for things like Greece, which went from drachmas to whatever they did, and then lira is Italian. It was like 20 billion of whatever the currency was worth about a bottle of water. Yeah. So except for that, US dollars, what everything world references to, we tend to hover, I think, about 71 to 70 something percent of the US dollar is Australian dollars. New Zealand dollars, last time I ever checked, the Australian dollar is worth a bit more than the New Zealand dollar. It's always something to be aware of when you change. Well, since the topic is travel, you have to check on your currency. Now, what did I find? In the long gone by days of traveling overseas, and Graham, I know you've done tons of this, lived overseas many places. Raining there in New Zealand and cold. It was cold here last night. Weird. Yeah, well, summer's sort of gone here too. We're not at the end of summer, but yeah. Yep, Vietnamese dong. I think I found that the best, if you're traveling overseas, you're best to change your money in the country you arrive at. Did you find that, Graham, or am I thinking the wrong way around? I think that's the way I found it. I would take some currency with me, but I found the exchange rates were better over there. Not necessarily at the like Travelex or at the airport, but yeah. Yep, totally nuts. Yeah, I'll join the club, Johnny. Well, okay. I have to say, as bad as ours is, nobody beats Mr. Biden for stupidity and craziness and everything else that probably can't say on YouTube because I'll be blocked or banned. But I think the world's looking very closely and going, my God. It's like, well, take Afghanistan without getting into the politics. People that served there for 10 or 20 years must be going, why the hell did we do that? Absolute, yeah. Anyway, I think the world should be run by us guys that are on here on this live stream, because we make a lot more sense than the way they're running the world. What can you say? Right, some more Mount Franklin unsponsored water. Mount Franklin? Or it could be Coles or Woolworths water. Whoever wants to sponsor me. All right. Well, we have 6 people watching. 9 thumbs up. If you haven't thumbs up, may as well. May as well do that. I'm going to probably go for a toilet break. It is, Graham. Absolute. Never a truer word said. Croatia only has 10 pilots in the army. Well, okay. Hopefully you guys don't worry about being invaded. Because some of the pilots might be off on leave, so that's not going to be good. 10 pilots. Did you know, well, you probably wouldn't, but anyone watching in Australia, I didn't realise till recently that Amberley Air Base here in, well, it's in Ipswich, but next door to Brisbane, it's like 20 minutes away or thereabouts. It is the biggest air base in Australia. I didn't realise that. We used to, my mate Paul and I, who a couple of you have met, we used to many years ago drive along the back gates. There was a dirt road, and we'd park the car and just watch the planes doing their thing. And I know one night, and this is a long time ago, I wouldn't do it now, you'd be shot for sure. But you're not allowed, never have been allowed to photograph over a military base. And I think that's worldwide, probably. We had, well, they changed to private security instead of doing their own. And we had this guy come along the other side of the fence, and he stopped. He goes, "What are you guys doing?" And I went, "We're spying for the Israelis." So, I shouldn't have said that. And I thought, wish I had a white rag or a tea towel I could just put over my head. But there's times when you shouldn't stir up trouble. Those are one of the times. Safest city in Australia? I don't know. They're all pretty safe. Rathbase Amberley. Yep, that's right. That's right. Yep, good stats. Well, I think all cities are pretty safe. And I think it's the same around the world, what I've seen. Like, people are mostly just people. Look, there's been crime in every city in the world at some stage or another, but well, I'm in Brisbane, obviously. Been to a lot of other cities. Which ones I prefer to live? I like Tasmania. What do you reckon, Graham? You've lived around the world, except for snakes. No. Look, I've only ever seen a couple of snakes here. As a matter of fact, didn't even mention this on Facebook, but as a matter of fact, the other day I was, all right, here's something that you don't know. When I came back from my trip to Phil's place, I noticed the next day, right across the front of the car on the bonnet or hood to you Americans, and I found later near the front driver's door, scratches everywhere. So what Phil and I worked out must have happened, one of the cats, they like to provoke the little puppy, is an awesome puppy, but because being a low, sedan rather than a four-wheel drive that they can't jump up, I'd say he's jumped up there after the cat, and the cat's provoked him, and he's got slid down all across. So finally, once I put the video up on Wednesday, I went and I spent 2 hours in incredibly humid conditions. Yeah, but I've never been killed by them, Alan. Yeah, I mean, there's spiders. I can't see any here. Looking around, no snakes. Oh, hang on, no snakes. But anyway, my point is, so absolutely almost dead I was. I've got almost all the scratches out. You could barely find one now. But 2 hours, I was drenched with sweat, perspiration. The shorts I was wearing, no joke, it's as if you just pulled shorts out of a wet laundry tub. They were like drenched. So I made my way into the pool, jumped in there. It's like steam would have come off the pool. Anyway, so I'm walking around, cooling down my core temperature. Yeah, we get sticks and things falling from the trees around the pool. Walking around, either diving under and picking them up, or picking some up with my feet. Went to pick up this last long stick, about 1.5 foot, which what's that? 45 centimeters long. And I did a double take. I thought, that's not a stick. Like, it looked brownish, but it's got some white on. I thought, don't tell me that's a snake. It was dead. And I could see, I thought, no, it looks more like a legless lizard, as they call them. Is that right, Graham? Port Douglas is the safest. Okay, I've been there. Yeah, it's pretty chilled up there. Everything's pretty chilled up there. A bit like Tara. Oh yeah, lots of snakes in the film industry. Anyway, so back to the pool. So yeah, I thought, that's a legless lizard, I think. When I got out, I got the scoop net, scooped it out. Yeah, sure enough, it wasn't a snake. Thought it might have been one of those diamond head things. I found a few dead ones off. And it was a yeah, that long, legless lizard, only skinny like my finger. So, but it had, you could see it had been killed at the back of the neck. So I'd say somewhere there was a kookaburra, had swooped down, grabbed it, and I can imagine that kookaburra going back to the tree, on his way to the tree, accidentally let go of it, plop into the pool went this thing, and he's back in the tree going, shit, I dropped it. Anyway, so he dropped it right on target in the pool. Yeah, but here's the funniest thing too. I left it on the pavers down there. I just mowed the day before and cleaned it all up. And I left it down there for the lady to have a look. The day after, I said, did you throw it in the bush? No. So something must have come along and went, oh, free food. A bird, no doubt. So yeah, so they got rid of that. So it served its purpose in the circle of life, I suppose you'd say. Oh yeah, good point. Okay, well, yeah, ask away, Graham. I'm going to zip out to the toilet very quickly because I did have a couple of coffees before the live stream. So I'll flip this around. You guys have a chat. If you know anything about TikTok, just explain, Graham. You have the floor. Feel free. Why the algorithm? I've got theories that I told Graham. But yeah, just have a quick chat about that because you guys might use TikTok. I rarely use it. Okay, smoke out. No, I won't have a smoke. I'm just going for a pee. So I'll flip this camera around somewhere. Where will I put it? I'll give you a look outside. Hopefully it won't disconnect. So I will be back literally in about a minute. And let's see what I can do with this camera. Oops. You can have a look outside. Oh, that's not going to sit. Nope. Like that. Oh, have a look at the garden through the screen. Okay. I'll be back. You guys quickly chat to Graham about TikTok if you know, and I'll be back in about 1 minute. There's a siren somewhere. Go ahead, Graham. Go and get a look. Okay, here I come back. I hope you worked it out. Had a cookware as well. Alright, here we go. Back to Steve. Halftime change sides. Okay. Alright. Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of TikTok. I tend to think it's for younger people, although it's not. All sorts of all age people use it. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I did make a few little clips from my trip at Phil's. Put them on TikTok to see, but see what people comment. Yeah, well, some snakes are pretty bad, white boys. Sand snake. Yeah, stay with YouTube for sure. Oh, okay, Alan. Sorry. Well, if you're still there, Alan, all right, I understand. I had a couple of coffees, and that's why I had to exit. This is the bad thing about live streams. You can't edit those things out. So you can understand how I was eager to get to my next destination on the way back. Now we have a helicopter flying over. Yeah, for a toilet break. I should have a toilet fitted in the car. So, yeah, I came up with a theory about TikTok, and that's not what the video is about, but the algorithm that some of you have heard of. My only theory is the particular TikTok video that Graham put up was the way it was started. The artificial intelligence, or AI, which all of these things, including YouTube, use, might have associated it with the currently popular rap band or something, or visually it matched it, going, oh, well, that looks like that group of people that are popular. We'll serve that video out to people that tend to like watching that content. I don't know, but I wish YouTube would manage to get a bit of the TikTok algorithm, because I know a young girl that works where I get my fish and chips, and she told me recently, as a friend of hers put a picture of her. She's still at high school now in the senior year. All she did, and I looked her up, okay, well, I'll have a look when I get home. It was 1.8 million views, and all my friend did was just walk through the library. I went, what? A week later, she said now it's up to 2.8 million views. I wish YouTube would do that. It's like randomly put things millions of views. This is why YouTube is, I can tell you, and some of you that make content would have seen these little polls from YouTube that you can do. You can tell by their questions, they're really worried about the competition with Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, because obviously they know that, like, well, so many people are getting so high up from those other platforms. I mean, you can't monetize them. You can't get money from them like you can with YouTube when you reach a certain level. But I think they're worried about the audience have shifted away. And the biggest reason, like, there's a whole lot of social media, the new channels like Telegram and things. I don't follow them. People have suggested. I see enough rubbish already through social media that I'm not interested in. But they're worried that they're losing their audience to other platforms because let's face it, it's pretty common knowledge. You really have to be careful what you put on YouTube now because, look, I've said it before. I appreciate YouTube. I appreciate the fact that it's free. We can, like, I'm live streaming now for free. I've got a tattoo here, white boys. Yeah, it's done by my mate Troy. It's the only one I have. Had it on there for a reason, so that if I don't want it shown, it's hidden. But back to the subject. You can't say very much on YouTube. Like, I've got big opinions about, the what's currently still going on in the last 2 years. I have to be careful because, I'm not sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but the narrative that what every country is going along with, the leadership, there's things I could say, but I'm not going to risk getting, I was not deplatformed, but I was stopped from uploading for a month by sharing something just over a year ago. I thought, no, forget it then. The irony is, if you look at the logo of my channel that Martin Lewis made up for me years ago, it says, what does it say? I don't have a look at it. Opinions, reviews, comedy. The opinions part, I can give my opinion on some things, but certain things I'm very reluctant to because of that reason. I don't want to breach the constantly changing guidelines. And they are constantly changing. And they don't even email you saying, oh, just letting you creators know that we've changed this, that, and the other. Check it out. So you can't keep up. So you're no longer free to say whatever you want. But, you too, Steve. And I have watched your videos, as you know, because I've commented. Well, I don't know, Alan. I think YouTube will be around for a good while. There's been a few potential things saying, oh, Amazon's going to start up their own version, but I think I don't know if they've agreed, but I think Amazon's going to stick to, like, drop shipping, cheap or maybe sometimes cheap parcels and delivery. YouTube's going to stick to what they do. I don't think YouTube's going to start delivering parcels around the world. And I've said before in a few videos here and there, YouTube or Google, who owns YouTube, which is owned currently by the apex company called Alphabet, owns a lot of them. They literally, and I've seen just in South Korea, their branch there, acres and acres and acres of buildings with nothing but servers. I hope you know what a server is. It's like the computers that, process the videos, put them out there so we can all watch them. No one has the competition to do that. And, well, obviously they make money. They don't pay creators very much money, certainly not small ones like me. But their ad revenue must obviously be huge. Yeah, so I don't think anyone will beat YouTube. There are other platforms. I tried one or two. It was too much work. It just wasn't as user-friendly at all, sadly. Yeah, well, we all get trolls. That's for sure. Yeah, I've had a few people like that too, Graham, and also in real life, telephone threats. Nothing to do with YouTube, but yeah. People that threaten tend to be the ones that never do anything. Because if you're going to do something, you don't threaten. You don't leave a paper trail. Just catching up on comments. Okay. Oh, no, don't give up, white boys, just because of haters. Look, I get them too. I get idiots make comments. Almost all comments I've ever had are positive. But I've mentioned this on a video or two as well. Occasionally you get some complete moron saying something. It's like, well, and my standard comeback is, especially if it's criticizing the video or something, I'll go, well, what's your channel? Let me check out your content. you can hear crickets, because they don't. People like to criticize, armchair critics. They don't make anything. They don't know how to make anything, so they bag others. And I can't work out where people have that mentality or lack of mentality. Like, why criticize something if you can't do better yourself? Then, of course, I get comments. Hey, Graham, how are you, mate? Wondering if you'd join. Yes, YouTube is trying to tackle TikTok. Yeah, that's right. YouTube Shorts. Yep, possibly so. Yeah, for sure. Don't be discouraged by haters. Look, I get comments I've mentioned before in one of my recent videos about. Look, I'll make a video about something. I've made a generic channel. I made video on all sorts of topics, and be like, okay, one just plucked from my one where I showed you how to make distilled water with the machines I have. Then you'll get to some moron will out of nowhere go, oh, you're so fat. It's like, yeah, I tell you I'm fat. I'm fat. What's it got to do with making water? This is not a thing on, oh, this is how to lose weight and look like me. Like, come on. Just ignore them. They're idiots. They're complete idiots. Like, there's no relevance. It's like, I've done a few, this is how to fix whatever on your car. And someone go, oh, you're ugly. Well, okay. I can still fix the car, though. This isn't about my face. I never used to be ugly. But I tell you one thing, hater, you're always going to be stupid. Yeah. And, yeah, as you said, Graham, that's the way it is, hey? Yeah. All right, well, it's 10 to 12 now. What time did it start? 10:30. Well, that's not bad. That's been going quite a while. Still 5 people. Well, I'll hang out here a bit longer. Anyone have any? Okay, here's a new comment from Ellen. There's a channel I look at sometimes. A lot of trolls do not like this guy. He's in the UK. Yeah, no, I believe I know who you mean. 11:46. I believe I know who you mean, Alan. I have heard you mention him. I've never checked out his channel and never will. But there's, you could only guess how many YouTube creators there are in the world. Must be billions by now, I'm sure. It's a lot more than millions. Oh, we're to the Austin Powers, Dr. Evil. 1 million, quadrillion, trillion, squillion, quadrillion viewers. Boris Johnson. No, I don't think he's talking about him. Hello, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, probably most people won't get these lines. Online haters lose it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so, well, it looks like this is what the day is like in Brisbane outside there. Didn't really show you the sky. I could, but it's grey. Like you were saying when we had coffee the other day, Graham, it's typical UK weather, right? Except this is Brisbane, which isn't typical. Yeah, that's right. Just like chicken legs. All right. Yeah, well, I know, Alan, this is the funny thing, isn't it? Like, you get some complete rubbish channels and they get millions of views, and then you get ones that try and make decent content or something of interest, and you get very few. So, as I said the other day, it's heavily biased, the YouTube algorithm, towards the really huge channels, and we all know that. Okay. And they can put out whatever they want because they've already got, 50 million subscribers, and they're all going to watch it. So it's always going to be that way. That's why, getting back to what Graham was saying about TikTok, it obviously has some different algorithm to YouTube and even Instagram, because TikTok doesn't even use, they don't seem to even bother much about hashtags. Although I think in the case of the girl I know, that had 2.8 million views in a week. I think her friend put hashtag hot chicks or something. So maybe that was a viable one, but TikTok, and I'm still not that familiar with it. Yeah, I think you can only put a couple of hashtags. Instagram, you can put a whole heap. I don't usually bother. YouTube, you can put however many you want to, but I'm still totally undecided whether they make a difference or not. I mean, definitely still always use tags, as I've said many times in some of my YouTube help videos. May as well, and anything to work in your favor so that Google picks it up and goes, oh, here's a video about whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah, I know what your TikTok channel is. Yeah, that's right. They're getting big money because they're a big channel. So therefore, a lot of ads are seen by millions of people. So they're going to favor those people to, when you go to YouTube and they'll suggest videos, how many do you see like, oh, here's a suggested video of 50 people have watched it? No, you see ones like millions of people have watched it, or at least many hundreds of thousands. They don't suggest videos like we make. Any of us on here that make videos, they don't suggest. Be extremely rare for anything like that to happen. There'd be a glitch in the algorithm, but they don't suggest our videos, as good as they may be, because we're not one of the mega channels and we don't make YouTube as much money. I guess it's okay. It's a business way. You can't begrudge them too much. They're a business. They're not a benevolent society. However, that's the way it is. And as I've said too, at least they don't charge us. I would pay a small amount, mind you, not a huge amount. I would pay a monthly fee to use YouTube if it was a little better. But it's not. So it is what it is, as I say about pretty well everything. Who's your favourite fighter? Oh, this isn't a question for me. This would be one for AGK. I've said Graham, who's into watching that sort of thing. Okay, and you would know who that is too. Vladimir Klitschko. Do you know who he is, Graham? YouTube do not look at that. That's right. Well, in Australia anyway, you might have heard there was a thing last year. Johnny. Yeah, I could say something along that line, but I won't. I think he meant like as in officially recognised, Johnny, not so much a privateer. Now it's raining a bit heavier. Don't know if you can hear it outside. Yeah. Oh, the mayor of Kiev, really? Okay. I think you guys are having a go at me. I know nothing about sports celebrities, nor, like, as they say, care factor. Well, zero. I don't follow sports. Used to follow motorsports a little tiny bit years ago. Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, I can do that, Gremick, because I have a few spare $100 million, to whip out of my pocket just to get a bit of gravity on YouTube. And I've never watched Squid Game, and I never will. Ah, Costa Zoos. Yeah, I've heard of him. Oh, there you go. I'll just change the topic to favourite sports celebrities. Might get some more viewers then. Okay. Well, there you go. So, I'll go along with that. Whatever you guys say, I'll go along with it. Especially if you come from Mount Franklin and want to sponsor me. I need a coffee again. Okay. Well, there you go. So anyway, I suppose won't take too much more time out of your day, including those that will rewatch this at some stage, which will be probably the majority of people. Oh, I see. It's his younger brother. There you go. I'll tell you one thing that would be nice, although I don't know how it would work, and I've thought of this. When you live stream like I'm doing now, it'd be nice to actually have other people be able to speak. I mean, it's good that I can read comments, but at the end of the day, I've got to keep rambling on because you don't just want to read the comments. I could try something different, flip the camera around, just let you read comments. Let's try that. Let's pioneer something in YouTube. Always try different things. I've got nowhere to sit it. Hang on. Oops, it won't work. Come on back here. Hand hold it. Nope. Focus. See, there's no focus on this. Hang on. Just for sponsorship reasons. And frankly. Alright, comment away, guys. This is a test. Right, focus. Look, focus there, camera. Needs to be on a tripod. Testing. Oh, hang on. Let me get you some clarity. I'll use my cup as a tripod. Oopsie daisy. Cups aren't very good tripods. Oops. Tilt up. Now I'm just being silly. Oh, there you go. And with Matt Franklin for sponsorship there. There you go. Right, say something. Come on. You're going to be on the video now. There you go. No, the ticking is the rain outside. Good microphone, huh? Can you hear it? Look. You won't be able to see it through here. There's a screen. But out there. Oops, nope. I don't want to pull a cord and disconnect. You need coffee sponsoring too, right? Is there? And focus. Come on. Oh, man. Sometimes tests are more problem than they're worth. Okay, let's put him back on the computer. There's a very good, easy to use clip on this Logitech. Okay, back to me. Come on. Back to me. There we go. Yeah, all right. Is it really? The translation for people not in Australia, what Graham just said, it's raining heavily where he lives there at Kangaroo Point. And it's starting to rain heavier here too, hence the ticking noise. All right, Alan. Yeah, thanks for joining me, mate. I hope you had a bit of fun. Is it raining there, by the way, still? In Nelson, New Zealand? It's getting quite heavy now too, so it must be coming from your way, Graham. I mean, it's not bucketing down or... Yeah, well, no such luck. Yeah. I take it it's... what's the weather like where you are, Johnny? Sadly, Puppy Breath didn't join us, but no doubt we'll watch the... Yep, no trip today. What's the weather like where you are, Johnny? I know it's night time and it's now 8 o'clock, I believe. No, it stopped raining. Well, now it's come over from New Zealand. That's where we're getting it. From New Zealand, from across the ditch and slightly uphill. So no rain where you are, Johnny? But you, Gramick, White Boys. Is it really? Okay. Well, it's winter there. We're still in summer till the end of the month. Well, looks like a wet day. I think it's now midday, officially lunchtime, which I should probably have some breakfast. And yeah, I might wrap it up there. That's taken enough time out of everyone's day. But thanks, guys, for joining. I appreciate that. It was a pretty spontaneous thing. So, yeah, and I know, too, a couple of you that normally would watch are out and about. Have fun in this rain. Although Craig in Western Australia, it's probably a fine day. I haven't checked today. No rain. Okay. No rain in Croatia. Have you had a lot of snow? Smoke on toast. Yep, sounds good. I might have ham with melted cheese, piece of toast, or 2 pieces of toast. I'll live it up big. I had fish yesterday, so no rain today, most of the past week. Yeah. Well, we had a lot of rain the week before last. It's weird. The weather has been weird all during COVID, really. Well, the whole world's been weird, hasn't it? You haven't had snow for 10 years. I thought in Croatia you'd have snow. Thought all of Europe gets snowed under. It's no joke. And also, g'day to the guy that didn't make it when I chatted to on Instagram yesterday. Yeah, g'day to you. I'm sure some of you will rewatch this. Not necessarily the whole way through, but there you go. It's funny. The great thing about YouTube is it's worldwide. The downside is time differences and weather differences are strange. You should talk, Graham. You got less on top than me. Yeah, warm summer and gentle winter. And we seem to have a winter that just went on and on. It felt like 9 months of winter. And summer has been relatively short. It hasn't even been that extremely hot, except for a few days ago when I was buffing the scratches out of the car and I was drenched. It was such a rotten, humid day. But after that, it's been fine. In fact, last night it was cold. In fact, I don't know if I said yet, but I spoke to Phil this morning out where I've just come from, and it was down to 15 degrees centigrade, which is pretty cold. And I was cold last night. Well, not freezing, but, chilly. So it's still summer here in Australia for another month. Yeah, no snow in China, eh? Yeah, artificial. That's mostly all indoors, isn't it? Or, yeah. Does the rain fall up, down under? Of course it does, Johnny. When I go to outside, I've got to be careful if I walk over the grass because all the rain shoots up my nose because we're down under and up in my eye sockets, fills my ears up, my hair's like that. It's like rolling a roller coaster, Whoa, Now you're just being stupid. Yeah, cheaper. All right, everyone stop being stupid and get back to your normal day. I'm going to say cheers for now. Thanks everyone that joined me. I'm going to go and have a coffee, sit out in Studio A, which is the deck, or if in New Zealand, it's the deck. And in fact, if you're still watching from South Africa, it's probably the deck also. I think it is, Graham, definitely. It's just got to be. It's got to be him. All right. Well, cheers, everyone. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. I'll probably maybe make a video this week. Drop me a comment down below if you have any ideas what. Won't be a complex video. I do have an idea. I may do. I was given a rat test. Not the test, but the test kit the other day by someone who had a spare one. Of course, it's made in China. Even though in Australia, where apparently we make 100,000 test kits a day, our glorious government is sending them all to the USA. But even though in the USA, they're also getting ones made from China. So you got to wonder who's making the money out of this whole thing. In fact, you don't have to wonder too hard, do you? And you also have to wonder, why we vote people in that don't support products made in our own countries. That's politics, and as you say, Graham, it's all bollocks. All right, guys and girls that will watch in the future. From present moment Steve to future Steve saying g'day. It is now 5 minutes past 12. There, yeah, rapid antigen test. It's like, what is it? ULP, unleaded petrol. ATM, automatic teller machine. Plurals that are weird. Okay, cheers everyone, and thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate you joining me and having a bit of a laugh and a chat. And until I see you again soon on the channel, if you haven't watched my last 2 long videos, that gives you something to watch that's got to be more entertaining than watching the news on television and hearing about COVID for hours on end. Yeah, give them a watch, thumbs up, etc. Might put a link somewhere here to some playlists or something. Probably be 12 hours or thereabouts before you'll be able to watch this back and read the comments. That's the way YouTube is. So, cheers, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. It's now officially Sunday afternoon in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And I'm going to end the live stream and speak to you all soon. All right. See ya. Bye. Yep, here we go. Always ask me. Your stream will stop immediately and no longer be live. I've got the option of not, hang on. I've got the option of not yet or end. And as usual, I'm going to click end. Here we go. See ya. Thanks, everyone.